Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for January 25th, 2020, 3 p.m. Eastern, Saturday. Hopefully, everyone is beginning to mostly sense that we are not in 3D. We just aren't. And a lot of people will ask, well, how do we know this? Well, all you got to do is look around you. You'll notice that the days and the nights are different, much different. You'll notice that the atmospheric frequencies and energies are different. You'll also notice those who are still gripping the three-dimensional or the third density, you will be able to literally pick them out tenfold because of how they're acting or how their physical bodies are responding to it. See, like I've said several times, it's not about this I don't know, I think people got, but when you enter a new frequency, it's permanent, I'd say, lasting, I'll put it that way. You begin to transition, you yourself, and if you're conscious enough, remember I said this is up to each and every one of us, it's not externalized, it is about our journey within us on literally becoming adjusted to these changes. That's why we talk a lot about going with the flow. That's why we talk a lot about downstream thinking. That's why we talk about the canoe with no oars, letting the current take it wherever it'll go. That's why we talk about the river of void, the bridge over the river of void into the land of the unknown. This is all preparation through the heart, mind, and us to be able to transition much softer than those who basically are still embraced in the 3D frequency. And we all know that the 3D frequency is a much heavier, lower frequency. And we're not saying it's bad. We're not saying it's negative. But it allows for the dark matter frequencies, the lower survival matter frequencies to be plentiful, okay? And you can understand that because of the 3D Earth, we kill each other. We end each other's bodies. We war, and we conflict, and we hate, and we anger, and we deceive, and we manipulate, and we're filled with greed, and want, and fear. I mean, we all know this, but as you are now you've entered the 5D, the density, the frequency is higher by quite a bit. So you'll start to understand that knowing yourself, going within yourself, you begin to pick up a lot of different things, and not through the ego mind, but through the heart mind. You start to identify them, and you start saying to yourself, there's a lot of change here, there's a lot of shifting. And change is good, as we all know, it's the only constant. And so we start to reconfigure our directions. We start to understand that, the God within us, the kingdom of God, the heart mind, the deep eternal love, the deep gratitude. And we move more in fluidity without resistance. Less love under pressure, more free-flowing. More ease, more at ease, more not worried or stressed about tomorrow or yesterday, where we begin to just flow. And we flow with confidence. We know. See, that's the key. When you go into a higher frequency, you start to flow with more. And that's why for these last couple of years, almost the last 2 years of these meditations, we have been preparing ourselves, see? And does that mean we stop meditating? Heck no. The journey within doesn't, it's not like a couple of days and it's over. We begin to advance, expand our awareness. We begin to connect more with source creation. See, a lot of people think that, well, I'm not connected to source creation, and but I'm doing what I can. It isn't about that. When you let go, and you let go of all of this chattel that we carry, as I talked about the baggage room in the subconscious mind, we begin, and as this falls off, due to us, nothing else, due to our decision and our direction on our own to determine that this is what I desire, this is what I want. I want to advance. I want to learn. I want to expand, become more aware. And these are affirmations to ourselves and commitments that we then begin through the heart-mind to enact. And as we do that, we begin to realize that you don't have that anger anymore. You have forgiven all aspects of yourself, all things, whether they were abuse towards you as you were growing up, whether they were relationships, whether it was poor, maybe you thought you made poor decisions or something and you wish you would have done this and that. All of that is forgiven. But most of us forgive through the heart, through the ego mind. We don't forgive through the heart mind. And that's the difference. So that's why it never goes away. We think we forgive it, but we don't. So through the heart mind, the deepness and intensity of the forgiveness is absolutely paramount for ourselves. And once we do that, it opens the way. See? It opens the way for us to move up and up in the higher and higher frequencies. And we don't. It doesn't weigh us anymore like it did in the 3D. It doesn't. It's not there. And we don't pay attention to degradation and revenge and all of these things that we experience. And it's an adjustment because, it's funny, we hang on to these things, we embrace them. A lot of times we don't know we're embracing them, but we do. We hold on to them through the way we're holding on to them through the 3D life. Now that we're in fifth dimension, we'll start to understand as these things just fall away. They have, because of higher frequency, the lower frequency have much more difficult time keeping form. As I've said repeatedly, they can't. They fall away. So see, this is part of our ascension process. And we all decide when we're going to ascend. It isn't forced upon us. It isn't some mass shift for you. It is within each and every one of us, which is the collective and the collective consciousness. So when we get to a certain level of more and more of us deciding that we are in position for ourselves to shift into higher frequencies, we will know what that means. It's not going to be a big surprise because we're the ones engineering it. No one else is engineering it. We are. And when we understand that, then it gives us more confidence through the heart-mind to know that. And then when we start understanding that the universe is at our beck and call whenever we choose to do so. And the God within us, the kingdom of God, we're on the fringes of total bliss. And as we go into bliss, we then move into in love, and we then start to understand how we can sustain in love and how we can advance in love, each and every one of us. And this is enlightenment. And so this is all it's all moving together. And each and every one of us are the masters and commanders of it for ourselves, for our own ascension. And as we do this, you start to feel differently. You start to understand within yourself, not externally, but you do take in and you start noticing little shifts here and there. And it isn't conjured, it is reality, see? And because you have chosen to believe who and what you are, you are. and you advance. And we're not talking about being better and bigger and stronger than anybody else. It just means that you are ascending. And another thing that a lot of us don't realize, we are always ascending. See? Little teeny drops at a time. And then we hit a long stretch where we can accelerate. And this is for us so that we can accelerate our process. And it is our decision to do so. Some of us will say, no, I'm not going to go, I'm not going to get on the Autobahn and go 120 miles an hour. I'm going to take my time with this. Others are saying, I'm all for it. You know, that's the unknown, and I'm going for it. So it's just everybody's different. You know, it's just the way it is. So that's not a bad thing at all. So, you know, in physical form, we have feelings. Now, we all know that. And our feelings, where do you think the feelings come from? Our heart minds. They don't come from the mind, the ego mind. The ego mind doesn't have emotion. Do you understand that? The heart mind is the emotion. Heart mind is the power. And so, the structure of when for each and every one of us, when. You know how many times we ask ourselves that on many different occasions, in many different situations? When? When is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? And we're looking externally. All of us are looking externally for some sign externally that's going to let us know. And the only sign that we should ever really look for is the one within us. And as you begin to more and more, you carefully orchestrate to the most divine perfection of that which you are, you become more and more enlightened. More and more messages flow in from the collective consciousness, from consciousness itself. You begin to understand that this is all due to me, what I'm experiencing. And it is. And the collective consciousness itself, source creation, communicates with you more openly and freely because of the fact that it always has, but yet you were closed off. And now if you open the floodgates, you're going to start realizing and understanding the communication will be fluid, nonstop, consciously. And you'll begin to understand that you'll just go with the flow. This is a wonderful, spectacular, phenomenal journey that we have engaged. It's not an ending. It's just higher and higher, more exuberation, more excitement, more fun, more joy, more peace, more abundant. It just keeps flowing and expanding and expanding. Your light can expand out far because you're connected to all light. So you move effortlessly throughout the collective consciousness of the universe and universes in this planet Earth Gaia. You're connected, which means that you move with the molecules, the atoms, that they're all part of everything, and we're part of everything. And as you begin to fathom and understand that with yourself, then you'll begin to enact it. You'll begin to flow with it. And then what happens then? Well, then you have DNA that start coming alive. Have different strands that start functioning. All of a sudden, they start functioning. And then you start realizing, wow, you start to see things in the atmosphere, and they're not mirages. You start to see different light spectrums. You start to feel the air. You feel it. You feel the life in it. Then you begin to understand that you touch rocks and trees, and the ground that you walk on is alive, and you feel it. See, when most of us walk this earth, we don't feel it, we just walk it. See what I mean? Because we are not within ourselves. We are not connected to the God within us, so we just take everything for granted and we just walk along. But when you become fifth dimensional oriented and you start to understand that everything is alive, everything. The air, the water, the fire, the earth, it's all alive. But it's not alive the way we were taught in third density. Okay? But as in fifth dimensional frequency, you start to begin to understand that why we say life is the highest value in the universe, why we say that, why we affirm it so often. Because it is us. It's the birds, the bees, all of the animals, it's the trees, it's everything. So can you imagine if we were twisted in such low, dark matter frequencies that we believed that life had no importance at all, that it was really a bother? You begin to understand the frequencies then, and as you understand those frequencies and embrace them, you get a much higher knowing, and that helps you as you journey deeper and deeper within yourself and commune with the kingdom of God within you. And then your frequencies is all you can say, the theta waves that brings you into full motion connection with source creation, consciously and aware. And so source creation is all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And can you imagine when you decide and you follow and you move with yourself into a clear, conscious knowing that flow is constant to you and you're conscious of it, so that when you send out anything through the heart mind, over the ego mind, when you send out anything, it is. Period. It is. And the knowing and the confidence through the heart mind confirms it. So picture that you know emphatically, without ego mind, without the ego, but through the heart mind, that you just know. And so your intent is no longer an intent. It is an is. And it just materializes. We're not that far from there. And so as we are now in a higher frequency, as we have chosen to be, things will have rapidity. They will begin to accelerate more and more. Remember, you're at the helm of your starship, so you're navigating this. And you're looking and seeing, and so you become consciously aware that what you believe is created almost instantaneously. And the reason people say, well, why can't we do that now? Well, the reason is because, number one, we don't believe it. We may think we do, but most of the time we don't believe it, because the ego mind is in control, but yet we think it isn't. Okay? Do you honestly think that the ego mind is just going to say, okay, fine? Huh? When it's been in charge the whole time? It's not going to do that. So we're aware of that. We choose to. We know. Okay, that's understandable. So you keep embracing more and more the heart mind, and you keep practicing the fact that, okay, here come these thoughts. They're coming in. And then you know how you dismiss a lot of them? Because a lot of them we get are so far-fetched and ridiculous, and we don't know where they came from. We just say, that's just a thought. It's just a thought. That's all it is. And here's another one. you're going to find that you will not take this life so seriously. You will start to become more floating, more joy, more happiness, more at ease. You'll start to feel less encumbered, less pressured, less constricted, less diseased. You'll start to feel these things shifting. In fact, some people have already said to me that they have already started to feel this change. Okay? And it doesn't mean, see, there's a lot of people that'll run to the doctor because they think something serious is wrong with their bodies. And it's not true. It's the opposite. The body is expanding and shifting and changing at an accelerated rate. Your senses will become heightened, okay? Where you didn't have a good smeller before, you will end up with a good smeller. Some people say, well, I don't care about that. Your touch, okay, tactile touch, will become accelerated. So when you touch things, here's some civilizations communicate through touch. All right? They don't communicate through voice or through so-called telepathy through the brain. They communicate through touch. That's how they communicate. They can communicate through touch. And like you touch somebody, you heal them, or you touch you touch things and you feel them. You feel their life. You feel their frequency, whatever it may be. So your tactile ability is increased or enhanced. Your awareness, your sensitivity to all around you will start to increase. Then you'll start to notice that strength factors will shift. You'll notice that you have more power, I guess you could say. It's not really more power, but it is a knowing experience as we shift. Eventually, some people will inadvertently levitate and not know what the heck's going on. They'll think that, the end of the world's coming or something. But the levitation is automatic. And as I said before, some of us can do it already. Things will become more and more effortless. We will become much more aware of who and what we are as we're doing now. But because we have taken that step in our own decision and in this journey within, we are going to start to understand a lot of things about ourselves that we just overlooked. Okay? And understand something, that absence of consciousness is ego. But whenever the ego is absent, God is present. Remember that. That came from Osho. Absence of consciousness is ego. And whenever the ego is absent, God is present. You see what happens with the ego? And to be a warrior is to learn to be genuine in every moment of your life. To be a warrior is to learn to be genuine in every moment of your life. Chagyam Trumpa. When you understand the nature of your mind, your heart mind, that is when you will acquire awesome power. No ifs, ands, buts about it. And this is so true, and I'm really, really looking forward to each and every one of you to finally understand you have the power to create. Your power is so strong that whatever you believe comes true. You have the power to create. It's not something you acquire. It's not something you're taught. And your power is so strong that whatever you believe comes true. But the ego mind stops us from embracing that. It stops us every time. Even the ones that think that they're got everything under control, everything's straight, and they're really on target with everything. And, you know, there's so many people that incessantly want to figure out what their future's going to be like. Well, you want to know how? We talk about this, and we're going to talk about it shortly here. You invent it. You invent your future. You do. You invent it. But what happens if your childhood imagination has been buried in a closet? And understand there are no limits to what is possible. That was put on you in the old 3D. Period. And when people are truly dedicated to the divine, there is no difference between action and prayer. Action and prayer, action and meditation. That came from Mother Mira. Do you know what we do in these meditations, the million of us every day? We're creating, guys. This is a massive meditation circle of God-light energy. Do you honestly think that we have not affected the actual transformation of this planet and this civilization? That's not ego. That is fact. Do you think that the fifth dimensional frequencies are supposed to happen through some wave? We're the wave. Everything is transforming. Why? Because we're part of the collective consciousness of this planet Earth, Gaia, and the universes. So whatever we believe, we create. If you believe that we will have a God planet, then gosh darn it, we're going to have a God planet. Because we have that power. It is innately made up with us. Just remember, absence of consciousness is ego. What do you think has stopped us for so many eons? In other civilizations, we are not the only ones. It has been this incessant control over us of the ego. So this meditation is absence of consciousness is ego. This civilization must embrace it to understand it so that it can advance and take its rightful place in the universes, which is benevolent, which is tranquil, which is non-judging, so that the collective consciousness of that which we are can go on to create God universes. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure we all are. And the first thing that we want to do is relax our bodies. And we just let everything go. Let the bodies just relax. Drop off all of these low frequencies that keep trying to hang on to our feet. because we've risen to the point in our frequency fields that that's about all they can hang on to, maybe our big toe. And they're just really, they don't give up. But as we continue to move more into these frequencies, they'll just fall off, so you just visualize them being gone. All right? Without hate, without anger, without revenge, without stress or anxiety, you just let them go, surrender it. Surrender everything. It is a good practice, all right? And we're not talking about giving everything up. We're talking about just letting things go and going with the flow. Because remember, as we relax these bodies, we move into the now. And as we move into the now, we still the ego mind. We still the subconscious mind, the baggage room. And as we still the mind, the ego mind, and the subconscious mind, we're only in the now. And all that we really truly have is the now. The past, the present, and the future all are in the now. In this very moment, we are creating our future. We don't go into the baggage room, our subconscious mind, the past, and drag out all kinds of things and bring them into the future. We've already experienced them. They're over. We move forward. This is what's kept a lot of us to literally and incessantly recreate the past into the future. But when you fully embrace and understand who and what you are, you don't do that anymore. You don't care to, because your enthusiasm is in the unknown. It's always in the unknown. And you just go with the flow. And we don't take this life so darn seriously anymore. We frolic. We enjoy. We embrace. We're in deep gratitude and deep eternal love 24/7. We're expanding. We're having fun. So we relax the body, we move into the now, and we breathe. We breath in through the nose and we breath out through the mouth. We take a nice healthy breath in through the nose and we hold it for a short 3 seconds. I am light, I am love. I am light, I am love, I am. I am light, I am love, I am. That's the 3 seconds. And we literally generate that from the heart mind. And breathing is so important for these bodies, and most of us shallow breathe across the planet. That's why exercising, that's why understanding the breath is part of that. To know that it is there, to know what it does for these bodies, to be in deep gratitude for it. So, we want to do this at least 6 times while I'm talking. When we breath in, we breath in divine positive energy. And the breath keeps us in the now. The breath is part of the now. It cannot be the past. It cannot be the future. So we focus on our breathing. We listen to our breathing. And all we know is when we're in the breath, everything else is not there. It moves us in the now. We begin to appreciate and fall into deeper gratitude for the breath. So, we breath in divine positive energy. As we breath this in, it is from the collective consciousness of the universes and this planet Earth, Gaia. It's in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And it comes in through our God and through the heart mind. It never comes in through the ego mind. It comes in through the heart mind. And it floods us. And if we're conscious and we're on the journey within, we'll literally feel it every time it's being transmitted to us. this positive, this divine positive energy, is it literally tells us the absence of consciousness is ego. When we're in ego, we are not conscious. Do you ever experience that? We are not conscious about what we're doing when the ego is front and center. It sweeps us into all directions. It almost becomes like an addiction where we're constantly wanting and waiting for this and getting this and having that. And no matter what it may be, it could be a relationship, it could be money, it could be a house, it could be anything. An absence of consciousness is ego. And understand that when we operate, when we are with the heart mind, and that's where our seat of power is, the ego becomes a ghost, and the God is present. The God is always present within us. But the trick is, in this third density that we have just left, is that most of the time, the ego is there. And we experience absence of consciousness. Now, when we breath out, we hear this, we feel this ego mind that says, hey, Jim, don't even pay any attention to all that gobbledygook. We're doing great, aren't we? Things are not bad. Okay, sure, so you had this happen, and not big deal. You know, I'll send you about 80,000 more thoughts here in the next several hours, and you can pick for those and see what we can do there. You see how that works? And understand, the ego never thinks it's wrong. It's not structured, it's out of control, it's everywhere. So that's what we feel that comes in. That little ticking, you know. I said, oh, no, throw that out the window. You don't need to be in the heart mind, you know. You don't need to pay attention to God. Okay? That's where the ego is. And it's just like us saying there is no God. It's the ego saying, well, there is no God, because even though the God is within us, the ego convinces us that there is no God, and there are people who have befallen that. And I'm not saying it's bad, okay? So, we are in the heart mind. We are in an inward journey. And we are learning every second about the God within us. And so we are the kingdom of God, we are the heart mind. And the ego mind is stilled. We are in focused stillness of mind. And we have all of these of others with us, of other creations of Source, which basically is our family, because we're all family anyway, because we're all one. And the archangels, the seraphim, the cherubim, and the archetypes, all of them, trillions of them are with us. They're at a higher vibrational frequency. People say, what vibrational frequency? Some are at 10, 12, 15, 16. And that's why we don't see them all the time. That's why sometimes they come in humanoid form, other times we feel them. But they've been around since the beginning. They surround us with deep eternal love that they are, that we are. And gratitude. Ascended Masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Saint Germain, Sananda Jesus, Gaia, El Morya, Abundancia, Thoth, Hell, and many, many, many more. They ascended, their gods ascended out of body. They hold their God form. That's what they are, source creation. We ascended into body, so our God is in the body. We're each mastering our journeys, learning constantly. Do you think the ascended masters stop learning? No, they haven't. They never will. Neither will we. And so, they are with us. Archangels are with us. And all of us right now vibrating of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest, deepest gratitudes. And we're all one, we're all love. And so we come together arm in arm, hand in hand, and we form this circle of light, this halo around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia. And our light is a high frequency. It is source creation. It grays the darkness of sacred space. So when we form this circle, the light is absolutely so brilliant that we cannot gaze upon it directly. It saturates and encases this planet Earth, Gaia, on and above and below, us, all of us, in an impenetrable field of a combination of different light frequencies of emerald green flaming healing light of Archangel Raphael to remind us of our strength of healing. The purple, violet, blue flaming light of Archangel Michael to remind us of which we are, our resolve, our strength, our power. The white fire, our armor. Of the highest frequency of source creation. It is a deep, eternal love vibrational frequency, our armor is. There isn't any dark frequency that could come near it. The purple transmuting flame remind us that we have the power to transmute any negative frequencies into neutral light substance and shoo them away to the great central sun for repurposing. Then we have the violet ray, which comes in and cleans and it literally clears any debris that's still remain in the area of what we just got through transmuting. The golden white pink light of source creation, of the deep eternal love that made us. And it is our decision. Do we lower our frequencies and open that big front door and just invite every low frequency in we can choose? So we're protected 24/7. Now, all together, we begin to levitate up above the planet. And as we do this, we step outside the body. And we float above the body. And as we float above the body, we're compelled to call out to the other source of creation. All of us, everywhere. And all of the light energy beings and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. And only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest and deepest gratitudes can join us in this now, in this circle of light, in this meditation. They're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, peace, bliss, joy, kindness, gentleness, generosity, humbleness, tranquility, and benevolence. And they come in the Gugaplexes. One Gugaplex fills this universe. They come in the thousands of Gugaplexes. Arm in arm, hand in hand, they're with us in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of light. Their gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, and we are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, and we are all one. We are all love, and our God light energy is absolutely everywhere. We call upon the inhabitants of Agartha for Earth, Hollow Earth, beneath Earth. All of these civilizations, there are many, and only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love can join us in this meditation, in this now, in this circle of light. They're in full compassion and non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness and kindness, generosity and humbleness, peace, bliss, joy, tranquility and benevolence. And they come in billions, arm in arm, hand in hand. They're gods with our gods with theirs, and they are with us in this circle of light, in this meditation, in this now. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes, and we are all one. We are all love, and our God light energy is absolutely everywhere. We call upon the galactics, the off-worlders. Just to name a few, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, the Syrians, the Pleiadians, and many, many, many more. And only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love, from the highest, deepest, eternal love, and the highest of deepest gratitudes, to join us in this now, in this meditation, this circle of light. They're in full compassion and non-judgment, kindness, gentleness, generosity, humbleness, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, bliss, peace, joy, tranquility, and benevolence. And they come in billions. They have been assisting us in our evolution, in our enlightenment, in our ascension, and freeing ourselves from our own self-imposed bondage, our own self-imposed slavery. They are with us in this now, in this meditation, in this circle of life. They are gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. And we are all one. And we are all love. And our God-light energy is absolutely everywhere. We call upon our loved ones, those who ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes that we've inhabited. And only those who vibrated the frequency of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest of deepest gratitudes can join us in this meditation, this now, in this circle of light. They are in full compassion and non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, kindness, gentleness, generosity, humbleness, peace, joy, bliss, tranquility, benevolence. They come in the billions, arm in arm, hand in hand. They join us in this now, in this circle of light, in this meditation. They're gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We are of the highest of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. And we are all one. And we are all love. And our God-light energy is absolutely everywhere. We call upon all of the light energy beings who have decided to be housed in the following forms on and above and below this planet Earth, Gaia, in this now, in this circle of light, in this meditation. The fairies, the sprites, the elves, the gnomes, the dwarves, the trees, the elements, the elementals, earth, air, water, fire, the mermaid, the dolphin, the whale, the pegasus, the unicorn, the centaur, the minotaur, and many, many, many more. Only those who are of the highest, deepest, eternal love from the highest, deepest, eternal love and the highest and deepest gratitudes can join us in this now, in this circle of light, in this meditation. They're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, kindness, gentleness, generosity and humbleness, peace, joy, bliss, benevolence and tranquility. And they come in the trillions in shapes, sizes, colors, forms, configurations of which we've never seen before. Arm in arm, hand in hand, they join us in this now, in this circle of light, in this meditation. Their gods with our gods with theirs. They are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. We are of the highest, of deepest, deepest, deepest gratitudes. And we are all one. We are all love. And our God-light energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. Lifting the fabric, the sacredness of space and all creation, and harmonizing the frequencies into the highest of highs of the deepest, deepest, deepest of eternal love and the deepest, deepest, deepest of gratitudes. It is inescapable. Eventually, it will be all that there is. We look up and we see our meditative sphere. We created this sphere. It's in center circle. It holds all of our meditations in perpetual motion. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of meditations in perpetual motion. It can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever, beyond, and forever. It floods us from head to toe in our physical bodies, inside and out. Our etherical form, our God, the kingdom of God. It floods us, saturates us. And it lets us know, and it gives us the understanding, is that the God is present within each and every one of us. The absence of consciousness is ego. Therefore, the ego is no longer front and center. We are at ease. We flow. We don't fight the stream. We let it go. And since we are all one, and each and every one of us are journeying within with the gods that we are, and we are conscious, and we are completely aware, and that everything we believe is created. Everything that we believe is created. And there are no limitations, and there are no impossibilities at all. There are no limits. We look down upon this planet, Earth Gaia, we see all of our brothers and sisters, all of the light, and all that there is. And we flood them. We are them. So as we believe, the flood of deep eternal love and the deepest, deepest, deepest of gratitudes floods them all, floods and saturates all of us. All of us have the power to create. And all of us are so strong that whatever we believe comes true. So ask yourself, are you in the fifth dimension? I'll join you in the meditation, and I'll return to close us out. deeper understanding that we have of really, truly who and what we are is our boat allowing the current to take us wherever it chooses. Because we have the confidence through the heart mind. We have stilled the ego mind. We are ascending into higher and higher frequencies. And all this is because we believe it to be. And this is one of the paramount understandings, without a doubt, without a question, without second thinking, without the ego mind, purely whatever we believe through the gods that we are will be. Take it throughout the day, the rest of the day, the evening and night, and the following morning. We will be back here January 26, 2020, 3 p.m. Eastern, Sunday.